On Friday's trading session overseas, most major equity markets have risen. In the US, the S&P 500 has risen by the most in 3 weeks as a result of some pretty good unemployment data. Payroll data has shown that only 11,000 people have filed for unemployment in the US over the past month. This was about 10% of what the market has been expecting. In addition to this, the unemployment rate has fallen from 10.2% down to 10% in the US. This has really shocked the market and has provided some positive news for US equity markets. While this news is positive, there is still a good chance that there will be weakness to come as the US economy is far from out of the woods just yet. Equity markets were also boosted last week by some pretty good manufacturing data coming out of China. This has shown that Chinese manufacturing is growing at the fastest pace in 5 years. In addition to this, the Dubai debt crisis does seem to have been averted. This meant that the New Zealand and Australian dollars were in favour towards the end of the week. However, with the good unemployment data coming out of the US dollar was back in favour. This is not generally the case when we see some good news coming out of the US economy. However, it is likely that investors are now speculating that the US economy is not quite in such bad shape as what they previously were. The New Zealand dollar is currently trading at 71.70 against the US and has made a bit of a step down over the weekend. US beef prices have remained fairly flat over the past week, and this has allowed the New Zealand's beef schedule prices to in fact increase just slightly over the past week or two. Supply is still very tight in the US, and there is a little bit of concern about product leading into early 2010. This has meant that the New Zealand beef schedule prices have been boosted just slightly, as well as a slightly weaker New Zealand dollar. Demand is still a major factor in the market at this present time. One US beef industry expert has suggested that wholesale demand has fallen between 10 and 15% over the past few months, and food service demand is the weakest it has been in 30 years. This will affect New Zealand beef schedule prices leading into this season. There is likely to be some further weakness in these schedule prices going over the next few months.